Good morning. This is Bernard Nomberg. It's another Tuesday. We're back for our sessions on the law. Today's a little bit different. We've got our friend Brett Andrews, who's a trainer here in town. And today we're going to talk about ergonomics, exercise, and lifestyle choices in the workplace. And we appreciate you guys stopping by for a few minutes, watching us live, or if you catch us later, either on our Facebook page or the website, nomberglaw.com. This is a very important topic. It's not part of the law per se, but it certainly is part of our daily lives. David and I have committed to maintaining an exercise regimen, and thanks to Brett this past year, we work out with him a few days a week and wanted to bring him on board to share some of his experiences and his expertise. And Brett, I appreciate you coming in today.
Absolutely. Thanks
if you would, tell the folks a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Brett Andrews. I am a personal trainer here in town, and I actually got into this line of work. I've not always been an athlete or even exactly fit. About 7 years ago, I was very much overweight. I was 100 pounds overweight, and a health scare of my own led me to find my own ways to take that weight off and turn my life around so that I could continue to live a healthy life. And so I took a lot of that and I applied it into my personal training practice with Bernard here and my other clients. I carry a national certification for certified personal training as well as group fitness. My specialties include weight loss training for people over 40, strength training, building muscle, and also rehabbing minor muscle injuries such as shoulder injuries or lower back pain.
Brett, David and I, as lawyers, we spend a lot of our days sitting at a desk or sitting in a car, sitting at meetings, etc. And it's a very stationary lifestyle, 10, 12 hours a day, whatever it may be. And I know that it's very important for folks in our line of work that we need to be exercising, we need to be active. That's what led us to get over to working out with you about a year ago, and we try to work out with you a few days a week. Some days are better than others.
Right.
But what I'd like to discuss, or I want you to share with us, is some of those things that you've seen that folks who are in the stationary lifestyle, if you will, what do they need to be doing that, let's start with maybe at their desk or even in their office that they can be doing, and the importance of doing such.
Well, one thing we run into a lot is when you're working at a desk job, there's a lot of repetitive motion. And what I mean by repetitive motions is that, just like Bernard said, sitting at your desk, usually typing on a computer, making phone calls, doing the same motions over and over throughout the day with very little change up in your behavior. So one of the things I tell people to help with those repetitive motions is taking normal, regular breaks from your activity at your desk. It could be as little as 3 to 5 minutes per hour. So what you want to do is you want to get up, walk around your office if you can. As far as taking care of your hands, carpal tunnel becomes very prevalent the older we get and the more time we spend working at a computer because we're hunched over like this. We've got our fingers working the same way all the time. So what I used recently to help a client of mine overcome her issues with tendinitis is I learned that you can take a small weight, 3-5 pounds, even just as light as your water bottle at your desk if you have it. And what you want to do is you want to hold it sideways in your hand and then just rotate it with your wrist about 10 times per arm. We'll say 2 rounds of that about once every couple of hours. And what that's going to do is that's going to help remind your tendons within your arm to loosen back up, that they don't have to stay tensed up all the time. And that's going to help you offset those carpal tunnel issues within your wrists. The other thing you want to keep in mind is low back pain becomes a major issue. Low back pain actually affects about 70 to 80% of Americans in their adult years. And what that comes from is also, again, poor posture, a lot of sitting at your desk all day. So a couple of things you want to keep in mind for posture is when you're sitting at your desk, you want to sit up from your chair like so. We don't want to lean back all the time because that puts our spine in an unnatural position. Our bodies are meant to be upright and standing. So you want to keep your body upright. Also, whenever you're working at your desk, you want to keep your shoulders pulled back. This is going to keep your elbows closer to your body. That's going to help you maintain proper balance. Whatever we reach out too far for too long, it starts to put additional strain right here on these delicate, small tendons.
What do you think about ergonomic chairs or stand-up desks in the workplace?
Stand-up desks I have a personal fondness for. I like to work while standing up because, again, our bodies were made to be upright. We're not biologically designed to be sitting in this position all day long.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't have the opportunity to work at a stand-up desk like Bernard here, an ergonomic chair would be an excellent choice. Now, of course, they will cost more than your standard desk chair, but the importance is an ergonomic chair is going to give you more back support. It's going to diminish that strain we're feeling on our lower back. And it's going to help you get through the day better. It's also going to help your back feel a lot better than it is already.
Okay, thank you. Let's talk a little bit. Let's shift to a topic that's obviously important to me and to David. Let's talk about food.
Okay.
Folks who sit at their desks a lot of the part of the day eat out of convenience, eat when they're stressed, eat when they're bored. Talk about, from a lifestyle choices, what's a better way to plan, a better way to approach your meals throughout the day?
So I'm actually prone to this myself. I like food. That's probably a big part of why I got so big, is I like to eat, like the act of eating, like the taste of food, and I tend to eat whenever I'm not paying too much attention to it. I actually wrote about this on my blog, which you can read at jimdomfitness.com.
Spell that out for everybody.
It is GYMDOM fitness, FITNESS.com. And over there you can find a whole archive of blogs that I've written about exercise topics, weight loss topics, better strength training, and also eating habits. Now, the one you want to look at, I'm talking about, is called Eating on the Fringes. And if we're going to be eating at our desks, we want to be prepared for those opportunities. Eating at a convenience sounds good because it doesn't require a lot of time or thought. But what happens is when we eat at convenience, we go to things like convenience stores, the vending machine, the fast food place down the street. And a lot of these foods are very highly processed and loaded with chemicals that your body really doesn't know what to do with. And therefore, we can't really put those ingredients to good use. So if we're looking at healthier eating options, what you want to do is when you go to the grocery store for your weekly shopping, you want to stick to the outside perimeter of the store. Look for those fresher foods, fresh produce, fresh meats, fresh dairy. Stick to eating more of those foods than the processed foods in the middle of the store in the aisles, because these fresher foods carry less preservatives, and they're closer to the nutrition your body needs on a daily basis to get better.
So it takes a little bit of planning, but if you have the time and the planning ahead of time, you can eat a lot better, a lot healthier than those who just do it on the fly.
It takes a little bit of planning, yes. And what I recommend as far as snacks go, you want to have something that's a good whole protein. You want to have a good complex carbohydrate.
What are some examples of that?
Some examples of that would be in the morning, I like to have a couple of scrambled eggs and a cup of steel-cut oatmeal. Taken from the Quaker Oats canister. If you start up, it takes 3 minutes. If you're working at your desk, I find that mixed nuts tend to work very well. My personal preference is almonds. You can also go with fresh fruit. Some people like bananas or strawberries. Pineapple is great if you have a refrigerator. I'm a personal fan of that. And you want to have these sort of options available at your desk. So again, you're not running for the vending machine down the hall because it's right there.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, there's probably not anything in there that's going to do you any good. Now, as far as lunch goes, I find that prepping our meals ahead of time is very useful. Now, of course, that does take a couple hours, usually 2-3 times a week. But prepping our meals is just as simple as bringing your lunch to work, just like we did when we were kids. And it can be as simple as, say, a grilled chicken breast, a cup of rice, and some kind of green vegetable like broccoli.
And if you can't bring that from home, maybe those are some options at local restaurants that you should steer toward.
That's exactly right. Local restaurants tend to have healthier food options. As we become more health conscious as a country, a lot of local restaurants are having healthier, more calorically friendly options at their locations. So be sure to check those out And above all, simply consider what you're eating before you start eating it. And I find a lot of times that simple act of thinking ahead of time is going to put you in a lot better position for your daily health.
Okay, those are good pieces of advice. Thank you, Brett. Let's talk about our last topic. Folks who maybe not have been active in the last few years want to get back into shape, and maybe they're very deconditioned, but they're a little scared about getting back into the gymnasium or doing things. Talk to us for a few minutes about how to transition back into the exercise regimen, into a routine, if you could.
So getting back into an exercise routine is actually not as difficult as it sounds. In fact, there's also an article on my website at Gym Dom Fitness called Getting Back in the Workout Saddle. And the important thing you want to remember when getting back into a lifestyle of working out and daily exercise is you want to take it small steps of progress. If you've been out of the gym for 3 months or 5 years, you don't have to go in there and lift 50 pounds in the bicep curls. You don't have to go in and do back squats and all these fancy lifts you see other people doing in there. It can be just as simple as going in, spending 10 minutes on the treadmill, doing a couple sets of 12 to 15 reps with some of the machines you see in there. Chest press is great. Tricep extensions are great. Leg presses are fabulous because our legs are actually much stronger than we think. And so doing a couple of rounds of those, commit to spending about 30 minutes in the gym 2 days a week if you're just starting to get back into working out again. And that's going to start to build your body back to a working out mode. It's going to get your body used to being more aggressive in the way it moves. And also it's going to give you the opportunities to progress to more active things along the way. So be sure to mix it up as you go along.
So ramping up is as opposed to just going full out to start with would be a much better approach.
Of course. I find that whenever we try to go full out in any kind of lifestyle change, whether it's changing up everything we eat or hitting the gym 5 days a week and we haven't worked out in 6 years, our bodies cannot hold up to that kind of intensity. So go easy on yourself. Make a plan. I wrote on my blog about taking baby steps. It's called Baby Stepping to Healthier Lifestyle. And what you want to do is just arrange for those small steps of progress. Plan it out ahead of time, 2 days a week, 3 days a week. Focus on mastering those small steps of progress before you start to mix up and go into those heavier weights or those more aggressive routines.
And that's the approach that you've taken with David and me this past year. We've ramped up, and we certainly have seen the benefit, and we appreciate all that you've done for us. We appreciate you stopping by this morning and sharing some of your wisdom. How can folks find you should they want to further the questions or find more information about you, or even maybe hire you for your services as a trainer?
So the easiest place to find me, again, would be my website at Gym Dom Fitness, GYMDOM Fitness.com. You can read my blog archives, read up about different health and lifestyle tips. You can also contact me on my Contact Me page at that website, or reach me on my direct line at 205-915-3224.
Thank you, Brett. We appreciate your time this morning.
Happy to be here.
That'll conclude today's Tuesday law tips, if you will, but we'll be back again next Tuesday with another area of the law to discuss. We hope you guys have a good rest of your day today and a great week, and we'll catch you next week.
Have a good one.
Bye.